cricket world. Now the rules seem we rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem we rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. Right, who knows what I was doing there, you know?
Man, you wheeled up the cricket at about 3 times.
You know? Wait, hold on. What have you? Wait, have you got your? Wait, hold on. We've done something wild here.
I think that's echoing from yours, you know.
One second. Oh my God. Do you know why that was happening? I had it on Twitter at the same time as everything was going on. People, whoever's in the chat, I don't know what we were just doing. I have no idea what we were just doing a minute ago. You see what happens when you try to be fancy and you're just doing all kinds of madnesses. People must have wondered.
Listen, it is what it is. This is an experiment show, the live call-in. The first of its kind. We got loads of people airing their opinions. We thought, you know what? We'll bring them on the show. We'll have a discussion.
We can't start like this. You know what? Selector, wheel it up one more time and go in now.
we rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. We're back now. We're back. we listen. This is what happens when we try to do a brand new show, and we just do an absolute madness. Sorry, so people, guess what happened? As I was pressing play on everything, I had it on Twitter in the background. So I don't know what you lot were hearing, but you must have heard 1 million echoes of everything that was going on. But it's all good now. It's all good. We move. How is everyone? You're all in the chat. Hope you're all good. What a mad 3-minute intro for the brand new live calling show.
Listen, it's only licks when we touch down, you know.
Yeah, that was the remix that we played for everyone for the brand new show. But listen, people, look, Windy's cricket in the house as well, you know. Listen, everyone's here. Everyone's heard about the live show. So spread this to your friends, people, send the links, etc. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, send them the live. Listen, we've done it at 10 o'clock to benefit those of you who are in the Caribbean. So hopefully some of you are home now. Maybe some of you are making your way home and you've got it on in your earphones, headphones, whatever. But if you can join us live, do so. We're not going to do a lot of the talking in this show. You're going to guide what we do and don't talk about. But Santoki, before we go to the guests, and I explain to the guests, fans, supporters, whatever, how you can call in. What did you make of the opening ODI versus Ireland? Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a comprehensive victory. It was quite a closely contested match, but obviously, Alzari was someone who stood out with the ball. Very impressed with him. And obviously, Shamar Brooks on debut came close to a century, fell short. But I don't know how to take it. It was a very mixed performance. Obviously, we had a few standout performances there, but generally, it was a lot closer than it should have been, I felt, Mesh.
Yeah, I think Pollard said something before the game, and I think a lot of fans, no matter who you be, would have a similar sentiment. Games versus, with all due respect to Ireland, games versus teams like Ireland, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So everyone expects 3-0. Anything other than 3-0, they're getting cussed out. And even if they do win 3-0, a lot of people are going to say, but it's Ireland. So I don't know. And that's with no disrespect to Ireland, because Ireland, with all the COVID pullouts and the injuries and the this and that notwithstanding, and Richard Mutu's just said it, a win is a win at this stage. I think everyone's got to realize that when it comes to the ODI Super League, particularly because we lost 3-0 in Bangladesh with the C team, every win's a win. I don't think we've got time to worry about who we're winning against. You just got to get the win by any means necessary. But as you say, obviously Brooks, the standout with the 93. Pollard should have shut a lot of people up with the 69. I've got some stuff to say on Pollard and what he does with the bat. Alzari. Where did you stand on Romario and Odin, Santoki?
You know what it is? It's one of them ones where I'd need to see them across the series, to be fair. Obviously, Romario came good with late wickets. Odin looked a bit rusty with the ball, but I'd give it a 6 out of 10 for both of them, to be fair. It was kind of like, wasn't outstanding, but they did what was needed. I'd need to judge it across all 3 ODIs, to be fair, to see how they've sort of adapted to the 50-over game at an international level. Yeah,
and it also must be remembered as well, Evan Lewis is out, Fabian Allen isn't around yet. Darren Bravo has some personal issues, so he wasn't there, whether people want him in the team or don't want him in the team. So there were people missing, but there are actually quite a lot of talking points. But like I say, Santoki and I aren't going to be the ones to get into it. Let's see where you lot guide us. So let me just explain to people how you can get on the show today. This could be utter chaos. What I'm about to do could be an absolute madness. Okay. If you would like to, Santoki, I'm about to do a madness, you know.
Yeah, go on.
It's going to be so mad.
This is what it is, man.
We're going to have so many people, not so many people, but a few people backstage. Boy. Right. People, this is going to work. In a minute, I'm going to drop a link into the chat. If you would like to come on live, click the link. So I told you, Santoki, it's a madness. I'm glad there's not 1,000 people in this right now. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you would like to come on, press the link. That will then take you into the broadcast room where we are. We'll then invite you on. I can control you being on or off. And I also have the option to kick you out of the studio once your point is made. I don't know how, this is the first time we're doing it, the live call-in show. So who knows what's going to happen. Demo says, drop the link. Okay, say no more. Link is dropped. Come through. Anybody who wants to come through, make their point, whoever you want to cuss out, the link is now in the chat. You're going to guide the show from here. And whilst we wait for people to jump on, we should do a bit of admin. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the repeat, please press like, please press subscribe. That's what helps grow the podcast, particularly on YouTube, etc. You can follow us at www.caribbeancricketpodcast.com. You can be a patron for as little as $2 whatever of your currency I can't even remember our own things. This one, www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram at Carib Cricket, etc. Mr. Lover has come through.
Hey, let's get this done.
Person is online. No shyness now, people, you know. I don't want to hear no one coming through with any level of shyness. State your point. Be brave with it. Mr. Lover, I'm about to bring you on, but I can't actually see your face. So this could be a bit of a madness right now, you know. Let's see. I'm waiting for some faces to show up. Santoki, can you see who's in the back room as well?
No, I can't.
People, make sure you sort out your streams as well, you know. No stuttering. Only Santoki's allowed to have a dodgy stream. Everyone else, everyone make sure your internet is on point, you know. No stuttering out on the internet. Okay, let's bring Mr. Lover on. Let's see what he's got to say. Mr. Lover, what are you saying?
Good night,
Mr. Lover.
You know what? Well, let me just sort out the screen. 1 second. Give me a. Here we go. Mr. Lover, introduce yourself. Where are you? where you're broadcasting your points from, etc., etc.
All right. My name is Mr. Lover on YouTube only for the ladies. I'm from Antigua, living in the US. Bronx, New York.
Antigua up in the house, respect. Which part of the US are you in?
New York, Bronx.
Okay. Big up New York, big up the Bronx. Yes, Mr. Lover. Long-time supporter though. We got to big you up and respect you, because you're always on the live and we love that support, man. But come through. What point do you want to raise and let's talk on it?
I think it was a good game, with the exception of one or two experienced batsmen in the team letting us down, like Shea Hope. Well, he got a good delivery. Other than that, Boston Chase, failure again. Jason Holder, had to go at it, but still wrong shot. The bowling was okay. The fielding was disappointing a bit. But the most impressive thing is the 93 on debut from Shamar Brooks, 69 from Captain Pollard, and the bowlers in the end coming in. Let me just say this. Thank you, Mr. Odin Smith, for matching up Sheldon Cotter's Range Rover.
What have you got against the soldier?
Nothing.
But okay, no, let's unpick some of those points though. So, where do you stand on? So you said a bit of disappointment from some of the experienced players, particularly Chase and Holder. We're talking with the bat here. So where do you stand on Roston? Do you want him in the ODI side or don't you want him in the ODI side?
At this point, I'm thinking about removing him. I'm bringing in Thomas, or probably bringing an extra bowler in Seals.
That's a good point, actually.
I'm bringing Holder up the order.
Now this is actually interesting because someone on our Twitter feed has made this point that Jason suffers from not having a clearly defined role in our ODI side. He's almost like you're Jason Holder, so therefore where we put you is where we put you. And you could argue the same for the test team. Until we bring Jason Holder up the order, Santoki, you might want to come in. And what is Jason Holder's role? Is he batting 1-2 low? Is he a frontline bowler for us in ODIs? What is his role?
Holder's it's a tricky one. I think he should be batting higher, to be fair. I don't think at this point he needs to be our frontline bowler. He can chip in with 4 to 5 overs, but I think his quality means that he should be batting higher as a batsman, considering how brittle our middle order has been in ODIs recently.
And then, as Mr. Lover says, that would allow us to get Seals in. Were you, Mr. Lover? Were you surprised that Seals didn't play in the first ODI?
I was a bit surprised, but I think they did it for the reason to get the extra batting, where they brought in both Shepherd and Smith.
Would you play both Shepherd and Smith?
Honestly, not at this moment, but since they're both a bit new, well, not Shepherd, but Smith is new, I would give him the one, but still, it's really hard to say.
Yeah, because I have a bit of an... I still maintain that I think Shepherd and Smith are very similar bowlers. Or not very similar bowlers, they're playing the same role. And when you have Jason Holder in the team as well, you can... We got to be very careful that we don't end up with an ODI team where there's bits and pieces as opposed to clearly defined roles. And I just don't know if you can have Smith, Shepherd, Holder, even Chase could be thrown in that as a kind of bits and pieces. And I don't know, Santoki, I don't know if you want to come in on that, if we've got a few too many all-rounders in the side.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to bat from 1 to 10, essentially. Mr. Lover, I know you're from Antigua. I'm surprised you haven't called for Devon Thomas to get into the squad.
I did.
Oh, you did? I missed that, you know. But yeah, I think we're trying to... Yeah, go on.
I had said to bring in Thomas or Seals. I would more likely go for Seals.
Oh, my God.
But hold on. Who's Thomas coming in for?
Yeah, hold on.
No, in the event that they want the ex-batsman still chase for Thomas. But if they're not playing for the ex-batsman, been in seals.
Yeah, I hear that one still. I hear that. That's interesting. That's interesting choices, you know. Mr. Lover said I did, you know. Listen, Mr. Lover, there's plenty of people in the backstage. I can bring you back on in a sec, but I want to bring some other people on as well.
Adios, amigo.
No problem. Take care of yourself, yeah? Demo. Yes. Let me bring Demo through. In fact, let me take a few comments first before I bring Demo on. So Michael Dury just said, Machel and Santoki, I just want to point out that Jason scored more runs at a higher strike rate than Chase Graves even. Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point I think Santoki's making. Shouldn't Jason and Mr. Lover said the same thing? Shouldn't he not be higher up the order then? I just don't. I'll be like I say, I'm intrigued with all of you. You can all say it in the comments, like Adrian has said, Jason needs a little time to get himself in before hitting the big shots again. But if you have Jason down at 7 or 8 or wherever he came in this particular match, are we underutilizing him? I tweeted some stats the other day. Since Jason lost the captaincy, he's taken, I can't remember if it's 10 or is it 10 wickets? He's taken 10 wickets in 15 matches at an average of 64. Do you know how bad that is? Any other player, you'd say they have to be dropped for that. I know it's Jason Holder. I know he's technically the best player we've got in the region, but anybody else, and you wouldn't stand for it, and there'd be an almighty cuss out. So, but I'm not saying, before anyone tries to say, I want Jason Holder out, no, I'm not saying that. Of course, Jason Holder should be in our ODI side, but clearly something's not clicking for him in our ODI side. And I think that's because we don't necessarily have a defined role for Jason Holder. It's almost like Santoki, you know, when like, it's like Manchester United and Ronaldo. You play Ronaldo because he's Ronaldo. Whether it makes the team better or not is irrelevant. It's because he's Ronaldo. So Jason Holder will always play because he's Jason Holder. But if you are analysing it properly, you'd actually look at the figures and go, well, hold on a minute. What benefit is he bringing to the side? I know Barbados is coming for me, but I have to say it. You know, I have to make the point.
You know what it is? I think particularly against Sri Lanka, our top order did so well. Lewis, Hope, Darren, Bravo. We didn't really need to think about sort of the batting philosophy going down further down the order, but it is something we need to consider. Why are we playing so many all-rounders? Should we move Jason Holder up? Those are things we need to consider, because I feel like ODIs in 2020, we were essentially relying on Hope and Lewis to pile on the runs as openers, and then we didn't really have to worry about the batters coming in later on, really.
Let's bring Demo and see what Demo's saying. Yes, Demo, you're in.
Demo,
big up, Mash, big up Santoki. Big up everyone in the comment section. Guys, continue to like, share, and subscribe. These guys are awesome. They're putting in the work. Continue to big up the team. Big up yourself.
Listen, Demo, now you're actually on live. For the first time, you can actually now plug your channel better and tell me.
Bro, I have been trying to do that in the comment section for time. It's just not... I'm not as savvy as you guys, but it's Sports Frenzy. I think the next time you guys have a call-in show, if you're going to do it again, I'll just put it as my name, and then people can just go there. So it's Sports Frenzy. Frenzy spelled with 2 Z's and 2 Y's, and you should find it there. The cricket shows are normally on Thursdays, but it's a lot of EPL football and a lot of football content there. But Thursdays cricket, and then they have other shows on other days. Sports Frenzy.
Big up Demo. Everyone, you heard that now. No excuses. Every time Demo's been in the chat, I try to big up his show. So do go and check it out. Head to his show, like, subscribe, etc., etc. I've been watching some of what he does, and that's why I'm recommending it. So do go and check that out after people. But Demo, tell the people where you're from, what you're saying, etc.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, bro. So it's weird that you had Mr. Lover there, because we're pretty much from the same place. He's on my cricket team. So we play cricket in New York.
Like, call Mr. Lover back in, man. We need him back in now.
Yeah, we play cricket in New York, in Queens. I'm in Queens right now. We play for a cricket team called Kingsmen. And we actually played against Hemraj and all of those dudes, you know?
Shut up. Are you being serious?
We got him out, second over. He got out for a duck.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I'm from New York and I'm in Queens right now. So big up yourself, Mr. Lover. I'll see you when the cricket season starts, obviously, and yeah, good. So what I wanted to talk.
Demo,
yeah,
wait,
go ahead.
Demo. Before you start, I just want to check something. The team you play for, so what is it? Who's like what nationalities are in it? Is it all Caribbeans or like?
Yeah, we have yeah. So our team has a lot of Caribbean people. I mean, I actually play for two separate teams, one in Queens in that competition, and I play in also in the Bronx for another team, the Blade Warriors, who have Indians and different nationalities. But the Kingsmen, a lot of Caribbean people, Antiguans, as Mr. Lover would have shown you, Jamaicans, all over the place. So yeah, man, it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe.
Anyone who's also in the Bronx, New York, listening to that, hit up Demo, hit up Mr. Lover, see if you can try out for their team. They're getting Hetmyer out for ducks out here. So
yeah. I mean, I actually met a couple of, even the John Campbell interview. John Campbell was in the league that I played in the Bronx. That's how I met him. Raj, a lot of the guys who come over into New York play in the league. So it's a good league, competitive.
Love that. So yeah, Demo, jump into the point, man.
Yeah, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I think I might touch it on Thursday when I do my show actually, is the fact that I think that Ireland, they threw that game away. I think they panicked because they had the chase down to a T, and after they lost those 2 wickets, they just panicked and threw the game away, right? And my issue is, for time, we say we have strike bowlers, but we're just not striking. Like, I don't know where we're getting wickets from. It's just so dead, so tame. Like, we struggle to take wickets regularly. And I think ever since Narayan and Badri in T20, and I don't know who is our strike bowlers. I don't know how we just look so tame. And I know we have a lot of defensive bowlers. I wouldn't consider Akil Hussain a strike bowler, but he's one of our best bowlers, you know what I mean? But he's more on the defensive side. And I just don't know where we're getting our wickets. And I know Santoki gave Rampal a hard time. I wanted to come for him for that. He was his catfish. Like, for me, it's very harsh. It is very harsh. Because I think Rampal for that World Cup went for like 7s. I mean, he wasn't getting a bag of wickets, but he was bowling pretty well for me. I thought that he was decent throughout the World Cup. So to say he was a catfish was very harsh for me. So
I had to, man. You know, I'm a big fan of Rampal, man. I had high expectations of him taking the wickets out of our strike bowler. But it's like, I don't know if you saw on Sportsmax the DJ Barvo interview where he was like, the players were just out of form, basically. They didn't live up to their expectations. So I feel, obviously, what you're saying, Rampal had a good economy, but knowing Rampal and what he's capable of, I would still say he underperformed in that side.
Yeah, that's fair. But the bigger point is what I want you guys to chop up is our strike bowling, and that isn't just for this series, or it's been for a while. And so, like you just mentioned, Ravi Rampal, I mean, we expected him to be a strike bowler, but he was more on the defensive side. So, I mean, where are strike bowlers coming from? Do you think we have enough in terms of strike bowling? That's just what I want to mention. So continue, guys, to like, subscribe, share, big up the Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Well, hold on, Digno, hold that. You're not going anywhere just yet, because I saw a few comments. I need us to unpick. So Adrian says absolutely right, and I think he's responding to your point, Demo. The middle roll was just drift, and I agree. I agree with you, Demo. I agree with what Adrian's saying. We have no real strike bowlers. And this is the point I mainly agree with. We seem like we're defensively waiting for a mistake from the batsman. If we're going to be honest, I know Santoki and I kind of spoke generally at the top. Ireland should feel disappointed they didn't win that game.
Exactly.
They feel disappointed. And it's only because once we started, I think once they threw away whichever wicket they threw away, and then they just collapsed basically from there.
I think it was Bob, Brian, and Tector. I think once both of them got out, because they got out similar to us when we lost Pollard and Brooks. It was the same for them. They lost those two, and then they just panicked and threw the game away.
Also, don't forget as well, McBride, obviously, he got licked on the head, so he only went because he had to retire out. So
exactly.
If McBride didn't get that concussion, he looked comfortable and set as well. So I agree completely with what Demo is saying. We just didn't show any impetus to kind of take wickets. We sort of just drifting along.
So
So with that being said, who's coming through to be the strike bowlers?
That's my question. So this is why when Mr. Lover was on, I was saying I was surprised that Seals didn't play, because to me the obvious problem, before the first ODI team is selected, I'm looking at the squad and I'm saying you surely only brought Seals into the ODI squad, and not the T20 squad because you planned to play him, because why else was he there, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at the team and you go, Joseph is a strike bowler, or as close to one as we can get. Seals looks like the next obvious option. And then we went in with Smith and Shepherd. And that's why I was saying to Santoki, to me, Smith and Shepherd are the same player. And at the moment, I know like Shepherd did well in CPL. But to me, T20 is not ODI. And even if you go back to Super 50, who was one of the top bowlers in Super 50? It was Ravi Rampal again. As much as people don't want to hear it, it was Ravi Rampal again. And I think Multi were the top two kind of wicket takers in Super 50. So when Smith and Shepherd got called up for the 50 overs, I was like, under what form are they getting called up into the 50? Yeah. They've taken what they've done in T20 cricket and said, well, let's see if we can work with them and do something in 50 over cricket. But to me, that's not fixing the strike bowler issue. And that's why I'm talking about this bits and pieces approach. What are you saying, Dino?
No, I was just saying Smith wasn't even bowling 10 overs in Super 50. Like he took like 3 wickets and he went at high averages. He wasn't bowling 10 overs. Like, I don't know why they picked him for 50 over cricket. I mean, he did well, reasonably well. He got a couple wickets against Ireland and stuff. But I just don't know who are strike bowlers. I think Hayden Walsh, but I don't know what's happening with him. He did well in Australia, against Australia. But I just don't know who our strike bowlers are. I mean, when you have Jason Holder opening with the new ball, for me, he's not a strike bowler. He does well containing and stuff. He'll get the odd wickets here and there. He's not a strike bowler. Or spinners, Akil saying he's not a strike bowler. I just don't know. So, and Chase, like, oh my, I'm not even gonna get on Chase right now. But listen, give me Raheem Cornwall any day of the week, bro. I don't know. Just give me him, bro. I can't.
Listen, Chase is a funny one because someone, again, big up One Life on Twitter, but this is a point that I've been trying to make for a while. If Chase didn't bowl, I honestly don't think he'd get in the West Indies team in any format of cricket right now. And I just don't know if we are picking Roston because we know he can do something else, but we never seem to focus on his primary skill set that he's supposed to contribute with. That's not me and that's nothing to say. I'm not blaming Roston for the win or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's some decisions that I just don't understand.
I mean, I guess to be fair to West Indies, they lost Obed McCoy. I guess he's a strike bowler when he plays. I don't think Fabian Allen is, but you guys can chop it up. I know there's a lot of people waiting. So
do you guys do you guys think Anderson Phillip is worth a shot? Because obviously he was in the squad as well. He I think he took about 11 wickets in the Super 50. But Demo, would you give him a shot at international level?
I mean, we're not gonna know until we give him a try, right? Like we just have to give it a shot. He's very quick. I think that, you know, with a shot we can only see what happens. I don't know if he's gonna light the world up or anything, but I mean, you have to try. And Niall Smith is another one. You know, with the extra pace. I just don't know, man. I don't see us having any Ryans or Badgers or stuff like that anymore. So
we're gonna have to. I mean, obviously, the plan now is to go with Smith and Shepherd because they wouldn't have done it otherwise. So for the next however many months, that's clearly the plan and that's clearly the process. But I wouldn't be unhappy if they included someone like Preston McSween, just to have a look at some people. I'm not saying these people are going to light it up, but just have a look at some new people. And that's why when you said Niall Smith, Demo, that's another person. Just have a look at them. We won't know unless we widen the pool.
Listen, didn't Niall Smith fail the fitness test in Ghana though?
Oh yeah.
Listen, man.
The next call I have to address that.
Go on.
No, I'm saying the next call in that you guys have, I have to call in to address that because
we can do a two. We're gonna do a 2-hour show on Guyanese players and fitness. Your boy Hetmyer as well is one of them as well, Dima. We gotta call him.
Listen. I spoke to him about that, and trust me, it's not as it seems, bro. But I can't say it on air. But it's not as it seems.
Wait, which one? What, Hemraj?
Yeah. That's a different story. But I heard a different thing from him, so we'll see how that goes.
Boy, well, you know what? We're gonna have to book you in. You know, we're gonna have to book you in and chop this one up. But people, this is the first time you're probably like lots of you only see each other by names on the chat and stuff. This is why we did the call in to big up the audience. You know, everyone. Demo, by now you've seen what it's like. Go follow Sports Frenzy. 2 Z's, 2 Y's, yeah?
Yep.
2 Z's, 2 Y's. People go follow that and make sure you're watching what Demo's doing. Top content.
Big up, guys.
Take it easy.
Demo, come back through. When we do this next time, make sure you come back through.
Yeah, I'll try my best, bro. Take care.
No worries. Okay, let's bring in we got Rich. Rich, I've been seeing you in the backstage doing gun fingers and all sorts. We've been chatting. But let me bring in Rich now and see what Rich is saying. Yes, Rich.
Hey guys, what's going on, fellas?
Yes, man. How's it going, Rich?
Man, I'm loving the podcast, man. I can't wait for the podcast all the time. I'm always messaging Masha, when are we doing the next one, man? When are we doing the next one? I love
it. So, Rich, introduce yourself to the people, where you're at, etc., etc.
Well, I'm up in Canada, Toronto, Canada. Here it's pretty cool. -20 up here. For my American fellas, it's -4 Fahrenheit. You know, the imperial system. You know, let's go. But anyway, I'm up in Canada, just staying safe. You know, I came down with the COVID a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, I just stay inside and taking it easy.
Yeah. All good now though in terms of the recovery period, yeah.
Yeah. You know, just some minor lasting effects. For some reason, I feel it's like a flu that I can't just shake, man. But nothing too crazy. But you know, I've been pumping myself up full of West Indies. You know what I mean? Just follow it.
That'll make you more sick, man. You need to look off the TV.
you know, that's my saving grace. That's my saving grace in quarantine. But anyway, I just like to make a few points. You know, the hiring of Sarwan and Desi, I think is going to work wonders, man. I truly believe in their abilities, and I can't wait for them to hit the ground running. I think there's a lot to say about those two. The other point I want to make is I heard on the last ODI, Darren Sammy made a comment about him playing Test cricket, and once he stopped playing Test cricket, he lost his ability to put that ball on a line and length and to create pressure. And I wonder if that's what's going on. That's why we're not seeing our wicket takers, because as Demo said, you know, once Narayana and Badri left, who's our wicket takers? I truly believe Moti is one of them. Given the opportunity, I think Moti could be one. I just feel I don't know who else is out there. Seals, I agree with what you said, Marshall. If we're picking Seals, the man has to play.
Yeah.
If we're picking Cottrell, he has to play. Those guys need to play. I feel like we're picking a team of all rounders, and you know, this one could do a little bit of this. This one could do a little bit of that. But who's really excelling at what they do?
This is and that last point there you've just said could be applied to the test arena as well. But let's keep it on the ODIs. And I actually the first point I want to go to is the one you made about Sammy, because I am so glad you raised that, because I happened to be watching as he made that point. And I think Bish followed up by saying that's an excellent point, Darren. Like Darren can be a bit odd in some of the stuff that he says on commentary, but that was a spot on point. And again, for those who weren't watching the live commentary at the time, it's as Rich said it. Darren basically said, because if those who remember Darren when he was a test bowler, he was basically a middle. He was a like medium pace dibbly dobbler, but he was good at putting it just in an area. Yeah. And then Darren massively fell off with the ball. And as Rich says, Darren said that's because basically once he started playing white ball and stopped playing in the test team, he lost his ability to bowl well. Now, I don't know. For those who are cricket heads in the chat, do either one, come on live and talk, or two, put your comments in the chat. But are we struggling in the ODI format for not having any test match bowlers or red ball bowlers? Dean Smith doesn't play much red ball cricket, if any. Seals has played one match and got well. No, Seals is an exception because he played his one match, went straight to West Indies team and looked good. So we can't use Seals. Alzari fell off massively in red ball cricket, but has managed to somehow. In fact, Alzari might be the exception to the rule.
I agree.
Because Alzari has managed to somehow become better at white ball, specifically ODI cricket, than he has with the red ball, which is weird.
I feel, me personally, since Alzari came back from England, his bowling has taken off. He's been way more consistent. His little.
Oh, you mean when he had the
county stint?
Worcestershire or whichever team
correct.
it was? Right. Okay.
I could see a change in his bowling, and I think he's more consistent. And I think it's the lack of consistency. You know, when you're playing Test cricket, you got to pitch that ball on a length and create pressure. And I think when you're bowling 24 balls, you're trying to do a lot to take wickets. Sometimes you're trying to buy a wicket in some cases. And I could see some of these bowlers are trying to do that. Here's one out there. Do you think Shannon Gabriel could be a white ball cricketer?
I was literally, you know what? I was literally, funny enough, I was literally saying our best strike bowler in ODI cricket would be Shannon Gabriel, but he can barely get himself fit for one test match at the moment. So I think it's the end of the road for him and Roach, unfortunately, for white ball cricket.
Yeah, I think
and their age as well. What, 33? Surely at this point in their career, they're trying to preserve themselves to play as much test match cricket as they possibly
also,
can.
the test match comparison doesn't even stick to our bowlers. Ian Bishop also mentioned about batsmen, talking about Nicholas Pooran, about how he sort of needs to start playing red ball cricket to build that foundation to improve in white ball cricket. Because obviously DJ Bravo now in his interview on Sportsmax has said Pollard cussed out Pooran at one point for not stepping up with the bat. And obviously in the ODI, he gave his wicket away, coming in at number 3 when he should be a responsible player. So you did feel Sammy and Bishop were trying to encourage the players that, you should be going down a red ball route to improve your foundations in the game, both with the ball and the bat.
Yeah, just a few comments I want to bring up. Cosmian, I always feel like I've said your name wrong, so do put it phonetically, so I do say it right. Yeah, when I say that Alzari has dropped off, I mean before he went to England, there was a huge drop-off for Alzari, which is why he's not got in the red ball team on a regular basis. That's just that. Tom is right here. I was about to say, but Tom's already said it. Santoki, don't you remember, though? Remember, you went to the World Cup. Although
2019.
Shannon was in that World Cup. Weren't he getting licked down by people because he was bowling quick but not bowling with any level of real control, almost like an O'Shane Thomas?
Oh my god, I was supposed to say
that for me was down to his fitness and his age. I feel like Shannon Gabriel 5 years ago would be ideal for this side, but now I don't think he's got the stamina to even bowl at that pace for 10 overs in ODI cricket.
That's a good point as well, in fairness.
Rich, you never said what island you're repping, man. You never got that vital information.
I'm repping all the islands, man.
No, listen, we need
one West Indies, one nation. I'm repping all. No insularity here, man. None whatsoever, man. I rep it all, but
Now you actually have to say which island you're in.
I'm with my Trini boys, man. I'm with my Trini boys. One last thing. Oh man, guys, I'm fed up with the heady talk. I can't take on the heady talk. It's anywhere it's heard. It's heady fitness. It's heady making 100 in a trial match against some bowlers who should be fishing. I don't know. I'm fed up with the talk, but I love him. I think he has the utmost potential. The sky's the limit with this guy. I just think, he needs some coaching, and I think it's more mentally. I think it's more mental, to get that over the hump. Get your fitness, take it serious, man. The world's looking at you. The world is his oyster, man.
Do you know what? Let's actually talk on Hetty for a bit, though, because obviously with the second ODI postponed, a lot of this was supposed to be about what happens tomorrow, etc. But obviously we don't know what's going to be happening if that ODI series is even going to be finished now. So we can pivot to Hetty. Santoki, remember, so I did the video, but Santoki, you've not actually spoken on camera about Hetty. And I just want it on record, and I'm glad Richard said it first, and I'm going to echo Rich's point. Shimron Hetmyer is a fantastic cricketer. No one who is criticizing Shimron is doubting his immense talent. Even I think Natalia's in here. She is, and I know she watched the Bravo interview today because she was tweeting about it. Bravo said in his interview on Sportsmax, if you haven't watched that interview yet, people, after this, press in YouTube, put Dwayne DJ Bravo Sportsmax, and watch the whole interview. Bravo said about Hetty, and I'm paraphrasing, but Bravo questioned his desire. But notice when you watch it that Bravo didn't say that Hetty can't play. He said Hetty is a magnificent player. But he says, I don't know if he has the hunger and the desire to succeed at the top level. And then I think he intimated that when Hetty's with the team, fitness isn't an issue. Is he can't control himself when he's not under control himself. Like he doesn't have the professionalism to follow whatever fitness regime he's supposed to be following when he's off West Indies duty. And Santoki, when we interviewed Courtney Walsh the other day, Courtney made that same point. He said it's the individual's responsibility to be a professional and ensure that their fitness is up to track. And I just feel like with the Hetty debate, the thing that's disappointed me the most is the amount of people looking to make excuses for him. Those same excuses, nobody wanted to make excuses for Rampal or Gale when they were cussing them out about the World Cup. So why are we now making excuses for Hetty? The same way how everyone's like, how did Big Belly Rampal get in the old
or comparing him to Cornwall? Like, why are you comparing him to Cornwall? If that's your measuring stick, bro.
So Santoki, as a Guyanese, come in. What you saying on Hetty?
No, I agree with what you said, man. He's the most talented player in the region. I think if you ask Pollard, even if you ask a veteran like Gale, and as DJ Barber said, Hetmyer's talent is unbelievable. I think with Hetmyer, part of the problem is the money came too soon for him. Once he hit that century against Chennai in the India ODIs in 2018, he got a 1.1 million deal with the Delhi Daredevils. After that, IPL and these franchise tournaments don't require the same level of fitness for you to make the squad. So he's been getting this big $1 million deals in IPL franchises, knowing the requirement is a lot lower. And so for me, the motivation to get fitter to make the West Indies team isn't there, which makes you question his desire to play international cricket. Because for me, he's at a point where he's making the money, being who he is at his current fitness level, and he's not trying to push harder because he doesn't think the rewards of international cricket are worth it in terms of pushing himself. That's my honest opinion. So I doubt very much we'll see him play Test cricket again for West Indies. T20 is touch and go. West Indies might give him a chance just because of his talent, but it doesn't look like he's got any real desire to push his fitness unless he started losing those franchise deals because of his fitness.
Boy, that's some solid points there. Go on, Rich. Sorry, go on.
That's a slippery slope for the rest of the cricketers coming through the ranks, man. Once you see the money and you're going to navigate there, and I have no problems with that, but where does that leave West Indies cricket going forward?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Hetty was supposed to be the next breakout star, and actually, I'm gonna. There's another point that Bravo made in the interview, which I thought was really interesting. And I'd love to know where everyone in the chat stands on this. Bravo said that after one match, he cussed out Puran and Hetty in front of the whole team because he said, you two are supposed to be our future. You're 26, you're 25, you've been with us now for a while. You're batting 3 and 4 or 4 and 5, whatever it is. You're supposed to be making runs so that it's not left up to Pollard and Russell and Bravo to come through at the end and try rescue the situation. Now, I felt a certain way when Bravo said that. I get the point he's making, but I felt a certain way when Bravo said that. I was like, rah, the man really dragged them out in front of the whole squad. But then when I took steps back from it, I thought, but he's got a point. Hetty and Puran aren't young anymore. They've been being in this team for a while now, and we're still talking about them like they've just come through. So part of me was like, I get what Bravo's getting at, but maybe on a maturity level, Hetty's not there in his head. Maybe in his head, he's like, I'm still the youngster and I can kind of just get away with the slackness. And he doesn't see himself as a senior player Do you? Maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong. That's just where.
I totally hear what you're saying. Do we need to phase out that group of players for Puran and Hetty to take the next step? Do we force them into giving them forced captaincy and putting them in these roles to excel and try to excel and take more ownership and responsibility of their own individual? I don't know. I just feel that that's are we rewarding bad behavior? It's like you're getting a promotion and you didn't do anything for it. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. And actually, Tom, Polly did cuss out Hetty. I can't remember which. Oh, what was it? I can't remember the game, Tom. But you're right. I think because Polly was basically saying that Hetmyer was making these same mistakes again and again. But yeah, people, what are you saying, Santoki? Any further points?
No, I think it's hard to. A few comments are saying Cricket West Indies kind of set up organizational wise may mean they've lost. They've got a lack of faith in the system, but I don't think that's the reason. I think it's just personal. It's more of a mentality thing. Not so much with Puran, more with Hetmyer. I think Puran has shown Pakistan tour. He stood up and captained very well. He's shown a bit more consistency. I think the concern for West Indian fans is Hetmyer. And like Rich said, is it a case of we've had so many veterans in the West Indies side? Do these players who should be senior guys at 25, 26, have they taken it for granted that they're the youngsters? Because after that World Cup, we were blaming a 42-year-old for our fortunes rather than looking at the guys who were 25, 26, and technically they're in the peak of their career at the moment. So why was there no accountability with them? Why were we looking at DJ Barber and Chris Gale combined age of 80 years old as the reason why we lost the World Cup?
Wow.
You know what? I've not even looked at it like that before. But hold on, so there's a bit of a beef here. So let me find that. So Cosme says professionalism's a two-way street. So for example, Bravo spoke about how when he made his West Indies debut, he got in a black bag.
Oh man.
But then Dominic is saying professionalism is not a two-way street, with all due respect. So people beef this one out. Do the players not develop? Because I might be more with Dominic on this one, you know. How much do the players need to be pampered? Or, because also, Santoki, one thing you didn't say is, and this is defending Hetmyer here, when they go to these franchise tournaments, they're probably treated like 1,000 times better than they are when they play for West Indies. So is it, maybe that affects them? They're like, boy, is it really worth all this? We're not even treated like we're any good. I don't know.
I guess it comes back to that pride. Yeah. How much pride do you have putting on that maroon?
Yeah. No, for real. But Rich, you know, thank you for coming through, man. Respect. When we do the next one, whenever that turns out to be, do come on again.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You guys, you're doing an awesome job. Continue. And all God's blessings, man. Take care, guys.
No worries, man. Santoki, look at this, right? Garvin says he goes on Hetty's Insta and he sees him posting about for Andre Russell's all these training.
Listen, people don't. I've said this on so many pods. Guyanese food will slump you down, but it's like an addiction. You can't. There's no way. If you're Guyanese, you can't escape the roti, man. You can't outrun the roti. So I don't know what Hetmyer is gonna do. I don't know what Hemraj is gonna do. I don't know what Rutherford's gonna do, unless they give up roti. But I've never heard of a Guyanese man giving up roti in his life. So I don't know what the solution is. You know, Salwan might have to take that fitness level down to 30 or something.
Oh, the Sachin says the cook up will put.
Listen, the cook up, man. The cook up rice, the roti, the dal, it will finish you off, man.
We might need to get Shiv on, you know, and get Shiv to explain how he managed to keep doing it. Because Shiv was scrawny for his whole life, you know.
I know. Who else we got? We got anyone else backstage? Who's coming up, man?
Yeah, people, we might lock this off in a minute. So if there's, let me put the link up one more time.
We'll do the last person.
Yeah, if you are interested in coming on, press the link and we'll try do a couple more comments. Let me throw this comment in from Dominic. And him and Cosme are going back and forth, but Dominic says, true professionals strive to get the best out of themselves. They don't throw in the towel and stop giving a shit when they're not treated well. There is, again, it goes back to individual professionalism. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we got someone backstage. Jay says that Hetty's probably got pepper pot from Christmas. You lot are finishing me today, you know. We got Gio backstage. And let's get Gio in. 1 second. Yes, Gio, what are you saying?
Hey,
Yes,
what's
Gio.
up? How y'all doing, man? I listen to y'all all the time.
Yes, Gio. Where hold on. Where you at? What country you represent in, etc., etc.
Where am I? I'm currently in Florida. I was in Japan before, but I'm from Jamaica.
Did you say Japan a minute ago?
Yeah. I was
in Japan.
No, I was in Japan. Navy.
Oh, yeah. So you represent in Jamaica, yeah?
Yes. Most definitely.
Jamaica come through. So Gio, yeah, what do you want to say?
Yeah. I've been watching West Indies cricket intensively, especially since they got a deal with ESPN and Willow TV. And then I agree with most of what y'all say, especially with the strike bowlers. Like, it's been terrible. Like, I've watched West Indies cricket and we don't take no wickets at all. We just get destroyed. It's like embarrassing. I swear. Especially like the part that made me real sad was when we played against I think Australia in the 50 over.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And in the 50 over, and then we was getting destroyed by Ayleswood and Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal. But other than that, I just can't wait until professional cricket is back. Because I know that people in England on your side, you're complaining about professional cricket being awful. And us in the West Indies, we can't even get no professional cricket at all.
Listen, as what did Demo say? Hemraj, in his quest to find cricket, had to go play in the Bronx. So but you're right, Gio. You're actually right, though. That's a real point. People do still have to remember that there has been no red ball cricket since February 2 years. In 2 years. And I'm not saying that would make a massive difference, but obviously we can't expect players to improve when they're not playing any cricket consistently on a consistent basis. So I think you're right, Gio, to say that we just need to see some kind of domestic cricket take place now so players can get some miles in their legs and try and make some consistent runs.
Yeah, even if we just did like extended 50 over, because I remember because I don't know if y'all remember, but 50 over we used to invite, I think, United States, Canada.
Yeah.
And sometime I remember one year we invited Kent.
Yeah.
Kent, and Kent got destroyed.
Yeah.
So even if they did like a extended, like maybe extended 50 over instead of 6 teams, put 8 teams like they normally do, give the guys extended play. And I'm really going to look forward to this ICC under-19 World Cup, because what I found out is that West Indies, at under-19 level, we can compete with any nation. But as soon as you reach professional, it's like everybody else just take off.
Yeah, and do you know what? Thank you, Tom, for the super chat donation. Love that. Thank you, Tom. Tom, by the way, people, before I answer Gio's point there, all those gifts that we do, like advertising the shows, they're all from Tom. So big up, Tom. But Gio, that's a really good point, because, and I think Santoki as well, if you come in on this one, as much as we can cuss, the last first-class season we had, let's not forget, the top batsmen were Jermaine Blackwood, Nkrumah Bonner, Josh De Silva, and Carl Mayers, and of course Devon Smith was in there. But ignoring Devon Smith for a second, those 4 batsmen have actually gone on into our test team over the last, 2 year and a half and performed. I'm not saying they've been let's take Nkrumah Bonner, for example. It's gone under the radar that Nkrumah Bonner, since debuting for the West Indies, is currently averaging 41. And no one's really talking about it. No one's talking about that. So I link it to Gio's point, because if these players can get some kind of sustained cricket, maybe we can get a next set of players to come through into the team, because we've got some cricket to look at, Santoki.
Yeah, I think Gio made a good point. At under 19 level, we're excellent, almost unstoppable. But then it's about bridging the gap to senior level. And I think the Guyana Cricket Board have said they've addressed the issue, and they've said they want to set up an under 23 league, just so players have something to do after under 19 level. Because it seems at the moment, if you play well for West Indies under 19, you have to wait a few years to get your chance to play for a regional side. We've seen players like Jide Gully for Trinidad. He's 25 now, and he's made like 2 first-class appearances since the under 19 World Cup, when he was a talent we should have been watching out for. So it's about, how do we get the under 19 players, how do we get them playing competitive cricket so they're ready to jump up to senior level? Do we send them abroad to other leagues, play some club cricket in other countries? Do we set up an under 23 West Indies system where they can sort of play regional cricket in under 23 size? Obviously, that'll take a lot of investment, but we need to work out, why are under 19s performing so well and then not getting their opportunity at senior level?
Yeah,
go on, Gio. Sorry, go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe. Yeah, the example I would like the West Indies to use is take on New Zealand, because their population is on like 5 million. And then I've been watching, because New Zealand, they got a contract with ESPN, so I watch a lot of their tournaments. And their first class system only got 6 teams, but they're like real professionalized. So like their system is like very compressed. So they only got 6 first class teams, which is exactly how much we got in the Caribbean, and they got a pretty decent youth tournament. Because I've been analyzing a lot of teams across the world, and like you said, Nkono Obama, like, he got a better average than, say, for example, like Alex Carey, a lot of the England players. Like, he got a pretty good average. That just means that, hey, we got the talent. We just need to give them time. Because like, even when we played against, I think, England in the under 19, we were doing pretty good, but as you can see, our players don't got enough experience. We just played against South Africa. We destroyed them. They destroyed us, vice versa. And for the past couple of years, we actually been finishing top 3, top 4, top 5 in the under 19 tournament, like every year, consistently. And then the only difference is that with like other teams, they got somewhere to go, because, for example, a lot of Indian players, they go back and they play domestic cricket, like Shubman Gill, Gaikwad, even coming through their system. And then in England, their under 19 players been coming to their system. Even with this Bangladesh team, like their under 19 players, they've been coming through their system. But this is like a pathway for them. So like that's the only thing that we should do. Like maybe even get like just like you said, the under 23 tournament, or even maybe expand to create like a regional T20 tournament for just not no CPO, just like a regional T20 tournament like they do in other nations. Instead of just giving all foreign stars, just a regional one. Probably like just 6 teams and then 10 games. That's about it. Just do it as like a summertime event, like what they do in like New Zealand or like in Bangladesh. They just do it like as a summer event, like in August, like in July, August, just as a precursor to the CPL tournament. That would be nice if they could afford it.
I agree with a lot of what Gio's saying, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, Gio. And I just don't know. Again, remember, a lot of this comes down to finances and being able to do it. And this is why I always say, rather than look at Cricket West Indies to do everything, I sometimes look at the individual islands and countries and their cricket board. So let me take Jamaica. I look at the JCA and I say, so what are you actually doing, though? What are you doing to develop Jamaica? It's so easy to go, what are Cricket West Indies doing? What are Cricket West Indies doing? But I don't know how much we hear, what is the individual board in this country or island doing to sort out cricket? So what is and maybe, Santoki, we need to hold ourselves to account and get some of these people on and say, what are you actually doing to develop the game in your country? So if we're going to have under 23 tournaments, what is the JCA doing to ensure that the best under 19 talent in Jamaica has a clear pathway through, first and foremost, to the Jamaica national team? Okay, Santoki, I'm surprised you didn't call. Look at the person I would call Imlak, right? Yeah. For the longest while, Anthony Bramble, rightly or wrongly, is Guyana's wicketkeeper. So what's Imlak doing? Imlak won the World Cup. All now he's struggling to get a play for Guyana, and it's clear that Imlak is a very good player. But what's the pathway? What's the transition?
I think the problem with West Indies cricket is county cricket in England is meant to be development for the England Test side. So you play players who you think can have a pathway to the England Test side. Whereas in West Indies regional cricket, because it's all islands, nationalities against each other, they play their best players regardless of development. So you've got Guyana holding on to players in their mid-30s because they want to win the title, rather than looking at the overall picture of how can we fit younger players into our side and help them get an opportunity into West Indies.
Yeah, most definitely. Gio, man, I want to just thank you. You know, you come on with some smoke and fire.
Yeah, really. But yeah, for real. I'm for real. And then one thing I would like to say before I go.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think y'all have an outstanding podcast, and this is how I really got back into West Indies cricket because back in Japan I didn't even follow West Indies cricket that much, and then I found out about y'all through Facebook and to Instagram and all over, and I was like, yeah. Then I started watching y'all back. But the one thing I would like to commend Barbados is because they got a decent cricket system going on.
Yeah,
I don't know, Jamaica, we haven't been doing a lot of cricket because I know the cricket competitions we used to have all the way to sixth form used to be good. But good job y'all guys doing.
Thank you very much, Gio, man. So wait, did you first hear about us when you were in Japan?
Yes. I was in Japan. I think that was because I've been in Japan since 2015. So you know that Japan got the same time as India, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I met a couple and then one time I went out Tokyo partying and I met a couple Indian girls. And guys
where's this story going, Jill? What's that?
No. I'm just telling you how. Go. Say how about it, cricket, right? And they were like, "Yeah, I'm from India, I'm from Sri Lanka." And then my friend, we went to visit Australia. We went to the MCG, and then that's when I started talking about cricket. And they're like, "Yeah, cricket this, cricket that." Then I started going on YouTube watching cricket highlights, and then I started watching CPL. And then y'all pop up because of your partnership with CPL.
Ah, right. Yeah. Respect that, man. Yeah. And there's a lesson, people. Caribbean Cricket Podcast all over the world.
All over. We global.
Yeah, all over. Yeah. All over.
But thank you for coming on, Gio, man. Much appreciated. And when we're going to try and probably make this call-in thing a regular thing, you know, because it's not just we wanted to show that it's not just about myself and Santoki or any other guest. Ultimately, this is about the fans of West Indies cricket, and sometimes as fans we can feel like our voices aren't getting heard, you know. So this is why we're doing it. So do come back through, man, when we do a next one.
Most definitely, I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Take care of yourself.
All right, take care.
No problem.
Nash, we had an interesting comment from West Indies cricket actually. If you can pull it up from the comments at 11:06 on the thing.
Who was that? From which one?
Windies cricket.
Oh, sorry.
About primary school cricket.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, here we go. What, this one?
Yeah, so key thing to point in the West Indies, that very good primary school cricket, fair under 15 to under 19 level, but there's a big secondary school age gap. So again, it's about looking at sort of how different islands can sort of develop children at a secondary school age to kind of prepare them as well. So, I mean, you have to look at the whole infrastructure. It has to be a long-term project. There's no short-term solution for sort of development of players at the moment.
Yeah, and actually, do you remember when we had Brandon King on, Santoki?
Yeah.
And I think he spoke about his primary school experience and playing, what's it called in Jamaica again? Can't even remember the sponsor's gone out of my head, but he spoke about how he was introduced to cricket in primary school. And yeah, so I think Windies cricket are right to kind of make that point that we're not joining up the dots.
Yeah.
Throughout, which again would make sense why when you get to under 19 level, there's no join up thinking from that. But like this under 19 World Cup, for all we know, West Indies might win it or at least get very far in the competition. But then, how long is the breakthrough gonna take for whoever? So everyone is talking about Teddy Bishop, and is it Matthew Nandu?
Nandu, yeah.
Everyone's talking about them, right, and saying, right, these are the next two. But how many of them are going to be able to transition successfully, and how many of them become someone like Gidron Pope, where we don't even know what's happened to him
basically
anymore, or even if they get past that stage, become an Imlak or a Ghoulie, and they're not even playing for their regional side on a regular basis.
Remember, Josh De Silva essentially lucked out in that he got the scholarship to come to England to play club cricket. If he hadn't got that Pollard scholarship, who knows if he would have made his way into cricket as well, because there was no pathway after under 19 level.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some comments, Santoki, because we're trying to wrap this one up, but people just out here in the comments, you know. Where are we? Right. Should we answer that, boy? I don't know. Listen, all I'm going to say about this one is I think we'll have a sponsor by England. England's effectively the biggest tour we can do.
Listen, we're moving like Barcelona. Remember when Barcelona was so iconic? They didn't need a sponsor for all that time. That's what West Indies are doing at the moment, man. We don't need a sponsor.
No, but do you know what, though? On a serious one, and I don't know if Windies Cricket, if they're still in the chat, will say something. So people look in the chat, because Windies Cricket may well respond to what we're about to say here. But if anything, the lack of sponsor probably speaks to the market, like the global market right now, and it would be foolish to not think that COVID hasn't had an impact on global finances and so on and so forth. Santoki, we got one more person backstage. We do one more, and then
go ahead then.
Okay, we got one more people, and then we're locking off. So where are we? Shane is in the back. Let me bring Shane through, and then we're gonna probably call it a close, people, because
who's it? Shane Dowich, yeah?
Is it Shane? No, boy, let me look. You know, I might have. If it's Shane Dowich.
Oh wow, Michelle's cut off.
I had to check if it was someone coming for me. Right, okay. Let me bring Shane. Shane, how you doing?
I'm good. It's not Shane Dorich. I'm Shane Jones. I'm actually a friend of his. We went to school together. Yeah.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself. First things first. Introduce yourself and etc. etc.
Okay. Well, I'm a Barbadian by birth, living in Canada right now. I'm energy modeler, so that's my profession. But I played a lot of cricket with the current guys, and it was close-ish to the team throughout the years. I was a net bowler a lot of the times for the camps and so on. So it was pretty much around the guys, like during their early stages, I would say between 19 and 25 of Jason Holder, Shane Dorich, and Roston Chase, my good mate. So yeah. But I know. I'm keen on your show, though.
Listen. Anything you want to say, direct it to Santoki from this moment. No, but on a serious one, Shane.
He was speaking earlier regarding the system in the Caribbean with regards to first class cricket and getting the youth players in. And partly true, yes, it is quite difficult because we only have 6 territories. And putting in more territories or more teams would kind of water it down. But in the West Indies, because we play so little cricket, we still have to look to slow down the production line. So like a lot of our players, you will see them starting to actually grow into their own in their 30s. So sometimes our issue is the gap really between 19 and about 23 that we really have to sort out and get these players ready for not only first-class cricket, but the level just above first-class cricket, what I would say like A-team level cricket, so that when they're ready to get into the international arena, they're not afraid or they're not like a deer in headlights. And I think the models of the team that got it right, especially in recent years, are like India. India always has a huge touring squad. And these guys may not play a test match or a one-day match for 5 or 6 years, but they're always touring, and they would play all the tour games and get acclimatized and so on. And in recent times, the one player that stood out for the West Indies that toured a lot and was successful is Jaden Seals. He was on a lot of the recent tours. Before he played in all the warm-up games, and then he has been successful to date. So I don't know if we can look for that model.
Yeah, and I think, and then Gio has kind of just said the point I was going to say to you.
Yeah,
the A team. So again, obviously COVID has happened, but A tours. If when things finally return to normal, I want to see some A tours. I want to see A tours more than I want to see West Indies play, just because I don't see how we bridge that development gap without some A tours. And I'm not even talking about A tours for like people in their 30s or 31, 32. I'm talking about a clear set of identified youngsters with some experience sprinkled in, but people where you're like, we can identify that they have potential. And let's be honest, Shane, I think where West Indies cricket is at, we now have, and it's going to be interesting to see how Desmond Haynes and Ramnaresh Sarwan go about it. But I think we're in a position where we almost have to pick players based on possible potential now, rather than actual raw data of what they're doing, because we don't have a big enough pool to rely on what someone is doing. Because if we did, we'd still be picking Devon Smith to play for the West Indies.
But Ian Bishop said exactly the same thing during the Ireland game. He said he's happy Desmond Haynes and Sarwan are there because being a selector, if you relied on data and stats, anyone could be a selector. You could just pick up a spreadsheet and work it out. Whether it's that eye for talent, who can potentially adapt to international cricket without the stats to back them? How do you spot that talent? And obviously Haynes and Sarwan have reached the highest levels, so they'll be in a position to do that. So it'll be interesting to see if they do go with that philosophy of giving players a chance at the test arena without the necessary stats to back them up.
Well, definitely they would be a good spot for talent. I'm sure they'll be keen on this opportunity that they have been awarded, being players that have not only played at that level, but can identify the attributes of a player that would be successful at that level. It's quite difficult in the Caribbean, as you know right now, because we haven't played any first-class cricket for a while, and even though a tournament is coming up, so for the selectors, they have been shooting a bit in the dark, somewhat. And not only that, but the players have been, you can see they lack match readiness. Like, it's okay being in the nets and training and so on, but when you don't have that general in-game confidence to take into the game, and that's something you build over time from actually playing games, we don't have that confidence. So you would often find in recent tours, we would often perform poorly in the first 2 games or so, and then in the third, fourth game, we would really pick it up, because then you have that confidence in your skill set, because it's practice and in game is 2 totally different things. And you're correct. I think that right now the selectors really have to look and just select players based on who you think has the attributes to perform at the international level at the moment with this whole scenario we are in with COVID.
Can I just check one thing, Shane? Because with all due respect, the Barbados system is probably one of the better systems in the Caribbean in terms of school up, and like it's no surprise that so many Barbadians are in the test team for me, not because they're the best players or anything like that, but just because actually their system's probably better than the vast majority of the Caribbean. So with your just experience of seeing it and growing up in it, what is it about the Barbadian system that you think makes it one of the better, more cohesive systems in the region?
Okay, well, firstly, as a lot of you may know, Barbados as a country, well, cricket is all we have. We're not really good at any other sports, and we really love our cricket. So that's one point. But also the system, I always tell people that the longer format of the game is always the best format of the game to improve your general game. And in Barbados, we play a lot of 3-day cricket. And for someone, I went to school in Trinidad and did Drummond undergrad, so they'd be playing Trinidad a lot of T20 cricket, a lot of limited overs cricket, but the longer format is not that stressed upon. But in Barbados, 3-day cricket is king. It's king. Even in the under 15 level, you played 2-day cricket. So like when you play those longer formats of the game, it builds your mental, it builds your skill set. And believe it or not, in the longer format of the game, you would encounter more scenarios that as a player you would have to learn to get yourself out of compared to in a T20 game and a 50-over game. So the longer format of the game, I would say in Barbados, is what helps us. And yes, the Barbados Cricket Association has put together a decent structure over the years, but I would say that we generally love our red ball cricket. And I think that has paid us wonders over the years.
Most definitely. You know what, Shane, that's been fascinating having you on. We're mindful because we were going to cut it off at this stage. So can I ask you that when we next do this, can you come back through, because there's some more stuff I want to speak to you about, but I'm just mindful of time at the moment.
Sure. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity.
No worries, man. So look out for the links, or just get at us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, because there's definitely some things I want to pick your brains about. So thank you for coming through, though, Shane.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good night, guys.
No worries, man.
Good evening. Take care.
Right,
okay.
Ladies and gents, that Santoki, I actually didn't think it'd be this successful. You know,
boy,
if
lot of fireworks popping off in the comments, but good to see the interactions, and it's good to put a face to names as well.
Windy's Cricket have been like just chatting to everyone, and we've missed all of it because we're actually hosting the thing. If you lot think that Santoki and I plan what we're doing, this idea we came up with this idea about, when was it, Santoki? About 10 hours ago.
I was going to say, I think you messaged me about 30 minutes before. It was like, yeah, let's do a call in. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good to meet. It's good to put a face to all our regular names and have different opinions. Is the main thing. We always wanted this platform to voice opinions of fans. However diverse the opinions are and varied, it's always good to get different perspectives and kind of unite talk on West Indies cricket. So I think that's done that today, and it's definitely something we'll do again in the near future, Mash.
Yeah, 100%. People, even if you were in the live, thank you so much, and I genuinely mean that. Thank you. It's been actually so much. What's the word I'm trying to say? It's been so good being able to have other people just speak on stuff, because you listen, don't take me and Santoki as any kind of experts here. You lot know just as much about West Indies cricket as we do, so it's good to have other people just coming through with their opinions, discussing that, chewing it up, etc. Natalia says, let's try and make this a weekly thing. Listen, Santoki and I will discuss it. There's obviously some mileage in this, and it's good that you lot came through and wanted to talk. Thank you, Windies Cricket, as well. I know you get cussed out all the time by everyone, but you don't even have to be here.
Listen, how many cricket nations in the world will have their official federation organization jump onto a stream to address any fans' comments at the moment, which has happened tonight,
whilst getting cussed out at the same
while getting cussed out as well.
So thank you for Windies Cricket for coming through, because as much as the cuss out can sometimes obviously pain, listen, the fans still appreciate it. The fans still appreciate,
you know what, I think,
to hear some of the truth and whatnot.
If Cricket West Indies won, I think it'd be good to get Dominic on for a show to talk about sort of sponsorship and how it works and what Cricket West Indies are doing from that side of things, because a lot of our comments seem to be about finances and sponsorship within the region. So that could be an episode we do as well in the future.
Dino says, keep the convo going in the comments after the live chat ends. I don't know how that all works, but when Santoki and I duck out, if that means that you lot can still keep chatting to each other, by all means do so. Yeah. If you're on Facebook, we do have a Caribbean Cricket Podcast page. Just search that, and by all means come in there.
And yeah, I would say if you want most up-to-date updates from us, sign up to Twitter if you haven't already. Twitter is sort of where we kind of promote it the most and kind of update the most. So if you haven't got a Twitter account, sign up for one, search us Caribbean Cricket, and that's where you'll find most of our interactions. But we're also on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm just going to end the show with the last thing, which no one suggested. Can't believe it, but there is an obvious answer for all of this, and it's to free Adam Stanford. So people, Alan Stanford even. So people, let's put our money together. Don't donate it to us. Let's create a pool to free Stanford, bust him out of prison, and come drop the money on West Indies cricket so we can rule the world all over again.
On that note, I think it's time we end the show.
Thank you very much, people. We've been the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Thank you and good night.
We rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem sunny.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans.